Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Javi here on Conventional Media. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and smash the like button. But let's go ahead and dive into today's video. Now, one of my favorite cameras of all time is the Fuji X100V. And today I'm gonna tell you why I purchased it and if it's a right decision for you guys to go ahead and pick one up. So to kind of paint the picture of when I picked up this camera, back last year around 2020, I was in my bed late at night, couldn't sleep, and I just started looking at a whole bunch of videos that are point of shoot cameras that I could use. And at this point, I was already an owner of two Fuji X-T3s. And so I didn't want to use my work cameras as my personal camera. And so that laid up at night, stayed up, looked and researched. And Sony had the ZV-1 and some other cameras. But I really love Fuji. I really love the feel of it, the look of it, the way the images are. At the end of the day, it's all about the images and then just the usability and ergonomics of the camera. And so as I continue my research, I came across a video of the X100V, and I was like, man, I really love that camera, but the price point is a little bit too much to get as a personal camera. $1,400 is a lot of money. And so to invest it in as a personal camera, I wasn't really financially committed at that point. So the next best option was, I was actually watching one of Moment's videos and they were comparing the X100F versus the X100V. And I looked at the F and I was like, hey, let me, see how much this costs and give it a try. And so I actually went on eBay. I bought a X100F used. I only had 100 shots on the camera. And I was like, man, this is a steal. So I picked it up and I started using it. Once I got it, opened it, came with some accessories, and I just started using it immediately. And then, as I started using it, I quickly find out some of the drawbacks. So it's like the F2 wasn't very sharp. The usability of the actual camera wasn't the way as refined as the X100V is. And, the viewfinder had an issue, which was well known within the Fuji community, that, you go from EVF to optical, sometimes it may lag, it may slack, or it may not work as much or as well. But still, I enjoy the camera. The one thing about owning the X100F is that it was always on me. It captures some of the most important moments of my life, especially just becoming a father at that point. My wife and I just purchased our home that we're in now, and our son was probably maybe 5 months old when I purchased the camera. And so just documenting our first Christmas, documenting certain aspects of our life. Some of the pictures up there that are kind of hung up was taken with that camera. And it was like kind of a nostalgic feeling of just capturing these moments in time of my life. And I wanted a camera that I didn't have to edit, Luckily, Fuji has the Fujifilm recipes. And so I picked, looked at one, did the custom settings with the X100F. I loved it. I didn't have to edit a photo, and I didn't want to feel like work. I want to just be able to capture the moment, the authenticity of that moment with the camera. So I used to take it with me for work too as well and capture behind the scenes. And then one of those behind the scenes, as I get out of the car, I have a whole bunch of stuff in my hand and it fell on the ground. And at that point, it damaged the EVF even worse. And so it kind of took away that feeling of wanting to use the camera, because I use EVF all the time, especially in bright situations, and I don't like when something doesn't work. So what I do, I sent it to Fuji, get a quote to see how much it's going to cost to repair, and it was the same amount of the value of the camera, and I didn't want to pay for something to be fixed if it's the same amount. So once I got the camera back from Fuji, I listed it, I sold it, I got about $500 for it, and that was kind of it. At that point, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to pick one up again, and I'm just going to leave it at that. A couple months went by. Now we're say that happened. I sold it back in April of 2021, and it was damaged for a while. I was just using it as a prop back there, and I was kind of like, I was pissed. I was pissed that it wasn't working. It was my fault, completely my fault how it broke. But what could I do? I could spend the money or just wait until I can buy another one. And so I sold it, got $500 for it, and then afterwards started thinking again. One night I'm like, hey, I really miss the X100F. Like, it really captured a lot of moments in my life that mattered, that were important, and I think I should pick up another one. However, there's some of the things that I'm like, so I just go ahead and pick up the X100V instead. And so I leaned back and forth, fighting the pros and cons. You know, you have a screen that kind of comes out with the X100V compared to the X100F. So I'm like, both situation, it works out. I have a son, he's small, I'm 6'4", he's a foot. I don't know how tall he is, but regardless, I have to get down, and this kind of makes it a little bit easier. The viewfinder is so much better. Video options, even better with the ND filter, you can use it for video. What else is good for you? This part right here, this little dial where you can just lift it up. I don't know if you can see it here. And then you can change the settings and then press it back down when you're done. You know, stuff like that just made it more convenient compared to the X100F. Image quality, the lens was the biggest one. It's sharp at f2, and it also had the new sensors from the Fuji X4, so I knew it was up to date. And also the autofocus is so much better. The X100F autofocus was not really that great. The V is a lot better, and also with that new sensor, you can also take advantage of the new Fuji recipes. So in that matter, I'm like, hey, it's a no-brainer. Let me see how much I can find one for. And I went on to eBay, and luckily on eBay, there was one that was being sold, you know, used. This one had 300 shots when I bought it, and I picked it up at a decent price. I saved about $150 from MSRP, and it just came bare bone. I added this square hood, this lens mate thumb grip, and there's also more of a grip here too as well, that I can use, and just, you know, making sure I have a good grip since I'm a big guy, big hands, and I don't want this camera to fall ever again, so that's why I got the strap. But from that point on forward, I've been able to capture some amazing moments in my life with my family, my son. I can go out anywhere. I'm always having this camera next to me, just taking a whole bunch of photos. When I go on a bike ride, I'm exploring new places or sunrise, sunsets. I have this camera with me. You know, this camera is extremely important to me because it's documenting so much important aspects of my life, and I'm only shooting JPEGs. It doesn't feel like work. At the end of the year, I'm going to print all the photos that I take and be able to, you know, hang some up and put some in an album, and just have that feeling. You know, it's retro. I'm not shooting film, but it feels like film, and it's just a really cool feeling. At the end of the day, it gets me out to explore. It gets me to capture the most important moments of my family's life, you know, in my life too as well, and it just makes me want to be creative and go out and try and explore new things. And I really love the camera. Maybe one day I'll pick up a Leica, but at this point, I think the X100V is gonna be with me for the next 5 to 10 years. Who knows how long it can last, and hopefully I don't drop another camera again. However, you know, if you found this video useful, so with that being said, you know, guys, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you would use this camera for, or what type of content you want me to capture and create about the X100V. But go ahead, subscribe, smash the like button, but I'll see you guys on the next one.